Hey guys, what's up? I am back with another video. Who does that? That sounds familiar. Hey guys, I'm back with another video. So today's gonna be a little different. I did this poll on Instagram. I think I said, should I do more videos? What kind of videos should I do on YouTube more of? What more, you know what I'm saying? I said it's more singing videos or more sit down, hauls, challenges, stuff like that. And a lot of people said sit down stuff because probably I post too many singing videos online. I've been doing it for years. It's fine. I am gonna do a mix of both just because it's what I like to do and stuff like that. Today is going to be a story time video. Some people may or may not know about. As you can tell by the title, it's not clickbaited. It's the story of how I saved my mom's life. I wouldn't say I saved her life, but other people tend to say that. There was this huge thing when I was in 3rd grade. I was 7. I think I was 7 and turning 8. So I'll just start from the beginning. So one day, I was 7 years old at the time. It was just me and my mom at the house because my dad was in Boston on a business trip and my brother was at his girlfriend's house, which wasn't too far away. My mom had been sick for a couple days and she thought it was just like a cold or maybe even a little flu or something. We didn't really know, wasn't really a big deal. And whenever she's sick, she pushes through. She doesn't just lay in bed all day, but that day she was pretty much just laying in bed all day. I would have to go and get her food and stuff. Like, she could not get out of bed. Like, I had to get her orange juice, soup. Her laying in bed all day was kind of a big deal because she doesn't ever get that sick enough where she has to be restricted to the bed. Later in the night, I remember everything so clearly because I think it was a very scary thing for me. I remember I was brushing my teeth and in my bathroom and I heard my mom go, "Haley," and I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Come here." So I went into my mom's room and she wasn't in her bed, and I was like, and I looked in her bathroom and she was on the floor. She was just laying on the floor and I was just very scared and confused, and she's like, "I need you to call the ambulance." And I was like, then she just started going quiet and I was like, oh my gosh. And so I grabbed the little house phone, called 911. They were asking me where I lived. I gave them my address. Mind you, I was 7 years old. They asked me to put my finger under my mom's nose to see if she was breathing, and I said I couldn't tell because at this point my mom stopped talking and I think she was just unresponsive. After I did that, the 911 dispatcher was just asking me questions about myself, like how old I was, what my favorite color was, what grade I am, just to like obviously get my mind off things while the ambulance crew were on the way. And so then I had to go downstairs and let them in. Oh, and before that, I did call my brother so he could come home. He came rushing home. He came at the same time the ambulance crew came, and so when the ambulance people finally arrived, I think it took like 10 minutes. I was in my mom's room the whole time, right with her. But once they got there, Dylan's girlfriend, she took me downstairs and she stayed with me because my brother was with my mom and the ambulance people, they were all upstairs. And all I remember hearing was them yelling her name, trying to get her to talk and respond, but she just wouldn't respond, and everyone was just screaming her name, and I was just sitting on the couch downstairs scared, and I didn't have my dad. Dylan called my dad, and my dad was coming home, but he was in Boston like 5 hours away, so Dylan ended up going to the hospital with my mom. They wouldn't let me go. So as they were getting ready to go to the hospital, I remember they were bringing her down the stairs on the stretcher, and I just remember she was totally out. Her tongue was out of her mouth, like she was just out. And it was like, that picture has been in my mind since. Like, it was very scary. I ended up staying at my neighbor's house during this whole thing, and they were just trying to keep me distracted and until my dad got home, and it was probably like 2 a.m. when he got home, because this was all happening at like 10 at night. Like, it was pretty late. we were getting ready to go to bed, or I was getting ready to go to bed. When my dad finally got home, he just stayed with me, and then the next day I didn't go to school. We went to the hospital to check on my mom. She seemed to be doing okay. She ended up having a severe case of pneumonia, which was just shocking because she has never gotten that sick before. But me and my dad stayed there and for a couple days until she got better, and she got completely better within like 4 to 5 days, almost a week, and all was fine. She just had really bad pneumonia. It was very scary since I was so young and I was alone, had to call 911. And since I was so young, I was in 3rd grade. I remember I was at school one day after the whole situation happened, and I remember it was like 12 in the afternoon. It was like the afternoon, not time to leave school yet, but I saw my mom and dad and brother walking into the school, and I was like, oh my gosh, am I getting dismissed early? Yay! And I was like telling everyone, I think I'm getting dismissed early. Then on the intercom, there was an announcement saying there was going to be a presentation in the cafeteria. The whole entire elementary school went in. There was a big TV set up, a bunch of officers and firefighters and dispatchers and everyone lined up, and I was like, what is going on? Because I saw my mom and dad and Dylan just sitting right behind the audience, and I was like, oh my god, this is not happening. They started talking about how to call 911. They showed us all a little video on how to with little puppets because we were all in elementary school. I was sitting next to my best friend Megan, and I was like, oh my god, I think they're gonna call me up. And she's like, oh my gosh, you're gonna get to go up. And I'm like, no, I don't want to, I don't want to. There was also this big fox costume. He was like the mascot of the dispatch center, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to hug the fox. So they ended up calling me up and saying Haley Gottlieb, who's in 3rd grade, she called 911 and she saved her mom's life. And everyone started clapping, shook everybody's hand, got interviewed by the news, and was in the newspaper, on TV. It was a lot. Little 3rd grade chubby cheeks Haley with braces, very early had braces. I was famous. She's been fine. She hasn't gotten pneumonia. She hasn't been that sick since, so that's good. That was kind of a cool story time I thought I'd share. I plan on doing challenges, hauls, routines, more singing videos, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment.